Hey everyone, welcome to this week's show. With me this week, I have former GM of Team Rocket, Kyle.
I'm back, bitches.
Thanks for joining me, buddy. Um, and I am your host, your commissioner, and your champion, Team Ramrod. Big week, I'd say big week, a short week, which left a bunch of teams coming short. Some upsets last week, in my opinion. Apparently, some people don't see it that way. You got Mark rambling off in the chat about, oh, it's only an upset in certain people's eyes. Well, when you're near the
Yeah,
bottom of the league and you beat one of the top teams,
I
it's an
can't say
upset.
that I'm upset, but there were some upsets.
That's it. Short week, so we knew. I said last week that there's a possibility for a lot of upsets, because there were 3 days last week with no games.
Yeah.
So it was a short schedule. Anything can happen on a short schedule, and some of these underdogs prove that. Before we get into that, just want to remind you guys that, again, the majority of you will never have your name written on this baby. Um, for the foreseeable future, you're probably going to see my name on there a lot. And there might be the odd year where another team sneaks in. I'm going to do my best to prevent that. I do that for you guys because I know I'm the champion you guys want and deserve.
All hail Shane.
Team Ramrod. Ramrod Dynasty. Let's
Ramrod
get,
Hockey Club.
that's right. Team Ramrod HC. It should probably be FHC for Fantasy Hockey Club, but you know, doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah.
Let's start last week's rundown here. I know everyone's excited to hear me talk about this. Team Ramrod taking the loss to Dan. Um, Now 7-4-1 in fifth place. Dan 5-6-1 in 10th place. Kyle, what do you have to say about this one?
I think Dan had a pretty good week, and your team just didn't show. I mean, you got good goaltending, but that was it. And Dan has an insanely grindy team as well. So Dan's got probably the biggest grinding team in our league.
Big
You know,
grinder. Big grinder.
yeah, big grinder. Yeah, your team didn't really do too much, and Dan's players showed up, and you're only able to come away with goalie points in this one. Unfortunate for you. And Dan comes away with another win, trying to claw his way back into a playoff spot.
It's unfortunate my players only started to show up Saturday. Again, the short week doesn't really help anything. If only the finals were only 4 days, Dan might have stood a chance last year. But that's how it happens in a short week. It didn't help me that Matthews didn't play. Suspicious, Dan, but I'll leave that out to interpretation. But I know what you did. Um, but yeah, it happens. Short week. I'm not upset about losing in a short week. We all know usually my team comes back on the weekend whenever there is a busy schedule. But I just didn't have that buffer at the start of the week to kind of to hold me off. When you only get a couple games out of your stars, like they have to show, and they didn't show. Dan's guys did show, specifically Marchenko, who had a really good week for him last week. But yeah, good on Dan. Big win for Dan. I'm gonna bounce back this week. I got another trash team lined up, hopefully for an easy win. Just before I take on the big bad wolf the week after. So uh, easy week this week for Team Ramrod. Don't worry, boys. I'll bounce back. Shane hasn't lubed me. 3-5-4 in 12 after pulling off what I consider a huge upset. Beating, I forgot about Dre, 6-5-1 in sixth place. Before I go to you for your thoughts, I just want to point out that Mark was saying that, oh, it's only an upset, not in my eyes. This guy had just picked up his third win, and he's saying that this is not an upset. But Kyle, what happened here?
Dre didn't have a bad week. Mark had a fantastic week. He got production from everybody from his team. That's why he put up some of these, the numbers that you see. 10 goals, 25 assists on a short week, plus 10, 29 PIMs, but he lost the PIMs category. 90 shots on goal. That's pretty impressive for a short week. And I mean, forgot about Dre didn't get any production from his goaltending other than he got the 3 wins off, but. Yeah, the goaltending stats weren't impressive by either one of these, but Mark took away the majority of them. Good win for Mark. His team, I would say, overperformed, and you're going to get those every now and again.
They did. They definitely overperformed. But those are still really fantastic numbers. Even if they performed a little worse and had an average week, they would have been strong numbers this week in a short week. But his team overperformed in those 4 days. I don't expect this kind of production in him every week. But he picked up a huge win, and in the end, that's what matters is that he got the win. Even if I don't think that his team's good. He got the win over a good team. That was another and what I consider another upset in a short week. I think if it's a full week, I don't know if this is how it ends. Dre's really resourceful and just a better GM than Mark. But I can't take away the fact that Mark got that win and is kind of climbing his way back into a potential playoff race. Um, it's too bad for him that his momentum is going to get stopped pretty hard this week. But yeah, good on you, Mark. Get a couple points. Too bad for Dre. Lost a big opportunity to climb higher in the standings, and it just gets more clogged in that middle. Another upset this week, in my eyes. Dull try the beef here, 6-5-1 in seventh, losing to the lowly Team Rocket, 4-8 in 13th. Now, my understanding was Team Rocket was under the impression they were climbing to last place this week, and we'd hear about that, but that's not what happened. Kyle, tell me what happened last week.
Well, a couple things here. I got marching orders from my woman that there would be no place in this beautiful new home of ours for a caucasaurus. So I had to pull myself up by my bootstraps and get to work this week. 12 goals, 22 assists, a couple shorties, good goaltending. Was able to easily put away I'll try the beef. And as anybody who's been in this league for a few years knows how I perform, I beat playoff teams and I lose to the trash.
Now, just to clarify, she does understand that if you do win it, it's got to be displayed.
Oh, she is very much knows what the stipulations are, and she's very clear to me that I better fucking not get last place.
So you heard it,
So
boys. You know Kyle's going to be buying your picks every week because he cannot afford to lose.
no, like I'll be homeless. Um, well, I mean, the other difference maker for me this week, in all sincerity, is that this is the first week that my lineup's been healthy in about 5 weeks. I've been down 2, 3 players the last 4 or 5 weeks, and everybody goes through it, and but it did particularly hurt me, and I actually got production across the board from my team for once. Usually it's like 2 or 3 players performing, and the only person who didn't perform this week for me was Reinhardt.
There you go, folks. You heard it here. Team Rocket, effective in a short week. You play him full 7 days, though. It's probably an easy win. But
Yeah,
big win for you, though, climbing a little further away from the Caucasaurus and holding Daltrey right in the middle of that bottom of the playoff hunt. Um, I know we're only week 13 right now, but we got to start talking about the playoffs now with I don't know, like what 10 weeks left, less than 10 weeks left to the playoffs. So
yeah,
it's coming fast, guys. And trade deadline will be on us in about 6 or 7 weeks. So you're going to see teams that are going to decide, hey, I'm in or I'm out, and start to make moves. Not that there's a lot of resources out there to spend, but who knows? There might be some things out there to buy. But big win for you, buddy. I'm happy for you. I do know. that you are afraid to bring home that Caucasaurus again. But I want you to win because I want Sean to continue to hold that spot. Thank you for doing your part.
My pleasure. I hope to continue to do my part, and I think the Cogsaurus would look good in Sean's hands. You know,
Yeah.
he can bring that to work and show all of his work friends
It's not
if
always
he has
used to. He's
any.
used to having one in each hand, but I'm sure he'll make do with this one.
Yeah,
Uh,
because he's a professional skier, right?
Professional skier,
You
silver
know, two
medalist.
hands.
Everyone loves Raymond. 7-4-1 in fourth place, continuing his surge after another win, taking down Neil. 5-6-1 in 11th place, knocking Neil down further out of a playoff spot. What happened here?
First off, I'm going to congratulate Derek on becoming the football champion this week. Good job. He beat me in the finals, dethroned me.
Those people don't give a fuck about football.
Well, I'll send congratulations this way anyway. But Derek's really turned it around with the hockey. He's managed to manage his football teams and hockey at the same time for the first time in years, which is like insane. Uh, and he took down Neil. And I want to point out something here, because Neil's out of a playoff spot, and so is Dan still. Because remember, some people kind of questioned when we said,
Yeah,
we thought Neil would be out of it and
we
Dan would
all
be out
might
of
be
it.
right.
We both might be right. So we'll see if this holds. We don't know. But right now we're both right.
I mean, good on Derek. I think what really helped his issue is I don't know if you noticed, but he doesn't have 8 Red Wings on his team this year.
Oh shit.
Every other year he has a lineup full of Red Wings, and he still has some Red Wings,
I
but I
mean,
think he limited it to the ones who are worth having, right? So
yeah. I mean, that would have been good 25 years ago, maybe.
yeah, the Russian Five and Yzerman and
Yeah,
but he's paying attention, and that makes him a lot more dangerous when he's focused, right? He's not just a pushover, easy win. Big win for him. Tough loss for Neil. He's been coming up on the short end here a few times over the last few weeks. So hopefully for him, he rebounds. But good on Derek. Continue to climb. If he keeps this up, he's bound to be a playoff team, right? And who knows?
seven, 7-4-1. That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, it's decent record, decent record. Matches the champion.
And
Uh,
I think that's better than Dre.
Better than Dre, 6-5-1. So
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
so
in fine company
he's having a good season. Hopefully he continues to remain focused and continues his winning ways for his sake. I would like to see some fresh faces in the playoffs. Teams that you don't see there as often, right? So this is a nice change of pace for Derek over the last few years.
for sure.
Mentally bedarded, getting it done. 4-8 and 14th after taking down the yard sale. 2-9-1, keeping Sean in the basement, just where he belongs. Kyle, what happened here?
Yeah, you know, Kyle's team really turned it up. Kyle probably would have beat anybody this week, and he essentially destroyed the last place guy with like fucking overkill
He's
here.
sending a message, is what he's
He
doing.
sent a message. He's like, "Yeah, I can beat you, and I'm going to beat you fucking good." And like the rest of us are crying, he's dead already." And Kyle's still like stomping him out.
He's taking
Uh,
out his frustrations from the season out on Sean.
yeah, I mean, he got production across the board. In particular, Mitch Marner, 3 goals, 2 assists, 11 shots on goal. Vince Dunn, a couple of goals. Roslovic from Carolina, 2 goals, 3 assists. Bedard even got a goal and assist. And Scary Terry, a goal and assist. So, it helps when everybody's producing. He puts up 16 goals, 18 assists, 4 shorthanded points. Uh, I think that probably ties a single season record. I have to look into that, but that's pretty up there. And yeah, and Sean's having a yard sale.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. He made a move. We'll talk about that shortly. A big win for Kyle. Like I said, this is a statement for him. Maybe his team's fired up. Maybe he'll go into this week and have a little momentum, and maybe things will turn around for him, and maybe he'll jump back into that playoff race. I don't think it's too late for him, but he has some ground to make up. He needs some other teams to lose, as well as to keep up some winning ways. So it's an uphill battle for him, but he's not out of it. So bitchin' bitches. 5-5-2 in ninth place after taking down the lowly 3-9 and 15th place Travis, who's just staying a point above Sean. That's all he needs to do to stay out of that Caucasaurus race. What happened here?
Casey had a pretty good week. 10 goals, 17 assists, 73 shots on goal, more than enough to take care of Travis. Um, you got some production, from Hagel, 2 goals, 2 assists. Hughes, 2 goals, 2 assists, and 6K. Getting 3 wins is pretty helpful too.
It's crazy what happens when you have goalies that aren't NA.
Right?
But good for him. Big win. Um, he's been a team that, obviously he's a 500 team, so he's winning, but he's losing just as many, right? So he needed to win against Travis. You can't go into a matchup against a low team like Travis and walk away with 0 points and still try to be competing for a playoff spot. So this is a win he needed to kind of stay in the thick of things, and his team pulled through for him. So great job for Casey and Travis, just sticking around just to give Sean hope. I like that. But don't give him too much hope where he actually does take out of last place, buddy. You do your part and you stay out of last. Let Sean get that. He needs it.
Plus, we don't want to
He needs
mail
a
the
win.
Caucasaurus to New Brunswick.
No.
It's going to cost money. Let's keep it local here.
Travis does come to for the draft though.
Yeah.
So he would actually show up to pick up his trophy, unlike
Um,
someone, Braden.
Braden.
Patches O'Houlihan, 7-3-2 in third. Dropping down, letting the big bad wolf 8-4-0 into second. Let him leapfrog him. The big win for Corey. What happened here?
Yeah, this is a battle of two of the top guys, and it was pretty tight. Patch had a pretty decent week, but he didn't get the goaltending that he needed, and Corey's goaltending really solidified this for him. Uh, we see Corey, you know, keeping pace with his team from last year. Um, Tavares had a huge week for Corey. Marchand gooning it up and getting points as usual. And then, his goaltending cross board, the big bad wolf having a good game. Aiden Hill showing up, getting a shutout from Johansson from Tampa. Not too shabby.
That's a big win for Corey. Like you said, he's keeping pace with his team from last year. Just a reminder, Corey, how that ended last year for you. You ran into Team Ramrod in the playoffs, and as normal, the right team won. But you keep winning. Your playoff team, both of you are playoff teams right now. I'm kind of surprised that Patches is still hanging up there. Just with the moves he made earlier in the season, it looked like he was selling. Um, but maybe he knew something other people didn't. And he wanted to collect some assets and still compete. It'd be crazy to think of how good his team would have been had he not made those moves. But no, he did. So his team's still good, still contending, still hold on to a top end playoff spot. I expect him to not drop any lower than probably sixth by end of the season. Should he continue to perform this way, his team. So good on you, Patch. Maybe it'll be nice to see you in the playoffs again. I hope we meet first round because I have a really good history with you in the first round, taking you out. So I look forward to seeing you in there. Domo, what looked like it was a close match going into Sunday, falls short, 5-4-3 now in eighth, uh, to Braden Byweek, who's now 9-1-2 in still in first place. What happened here?
Uh, if we were to measure this season by the amount of days that you spent in the lead or losing. Braden Braden's record would be like losing 80% of the time. This guy is Mr. Sunday. He is the Mr. Sunday of this league. Every day I go and look, and Braden is losing, and usually close, but losing up until Sunday. I think he has pulled these victories on Sunday probably for at least 50% of his games, if not more. Um, Regardless, though, Braden put up some impressive numbers this week. 13 goals, 30 assists in a short week, 15 power play points. And you compare that to Domo. Braden's got 13 goals. Domo has two. Braden has 30 assists. Domo has 10. Uh, Braden has 15 power play points. Domo has one. But where Domo almost had him, and I'm not too sure where the points flipped on Sunday, but it was either Brandon got like a shorthanded point and a game-winning goal, maybe, or he flipped the goaltending stats,
He flipped
which
the
I suspect,
goaltending stats with the Dallas start.
yeah, and that's where I suspect is he flipped a couple goaltending stats on Sunday because that's where Domo had him on the grind and the goaltending stats, but Ottinger, I'm guessing, pulled through the victory for Braden this week.
They got a big 5-1 victory, I think it was, against Dallas, against Chicago, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
No, big win for Brady. He continues to win. Will his Sunday heroics continue throughout the whole se rest of the season and the playoffs? That's yet to be seen, but it's been working for him. He hasn't. He's a team who hasn't made too many changes. I don't think he's made too many trades really. So he's satisfied with where his team is in first place. We'll see how it holds up when playoff time comes. But he's definitely a playoff team, like the Champion predicted. I just didn't think he would be in first place. And I don't think
Yeah,
any.
if you told me at the beginning of the season, like, yeah, Brandon's gonna be first place this year, I would have said bull fucking shit.
Yeah, I agree. Is this really blind luck, or is it just what happens when Braden actually pays attention, or is it more his friend that he has helping him? We don't know. Does it matter? It doesn't matter. We'll see what he does come playoff time because that's what really matters. We'll see if he can actually hang with the big boys in this league and make an impression and maybe win a round in the playoffs, which you don't see a lot of teams in this league haven't done really.
Yeah, and well, I'm super curious. You know, is he going to go for from Caucasaurus to the Cup? Because that's quite the jump.
He's not doing that. He runs into the
Well,
sheet
I
metal, and
hope
that's the thing.
you're right, but wow, if he does,
It'd be impressive. It'd be impressive.
because
But
like he's almost clinched a playoff spot at this point. Like typically you need about 24 points to clinch a spot in our league, and he's at 20 now, so he's getting there.
he's, I mean, well, we got eighth place is what with like 12 points right now, something like that.
Yeah,
Well, what do we have here? No, eighth place has 13 points. So even his 20 points, it's not a huge lead on eighth. So, but I guess it's ninth that we care about, right? Ninth is
yeah.
at 12. So
I mean,
still,
like he won't technically clinch for a while, but the average for getting into the playoffs in our league is about 24 points. That's like your entry point right there,
well, big
and
win
it's a
for
lot.
him. Keep going up in the standings. Let's take a look at the standings quick. Like I said, we have Braden at the top with 20 points. He's got a 4 point lead though on second place. You got Patches and Corey tied at 16. Myself and Derek tied at 15 for fourth and fifth. Then at 6, 7, and 8, still the same three teams from last week, all at 13 points still because they all lost. Dre and the two Daltries. Casey making up ground, 1 point out now, and 12 points in ninth. Svetch climbing up, 2 points out now, 11 points in 10th. Same with Neil falling out to 11 points in 11th. Um, Mark sitting at 10 points, so not unreasonable that he can make it in. He's only 3 points out, sitting in 12th. Then you have the rest who's probably out of it realistically right now. But you have Team Rocket and Mentally Bedarded all at 8 points in 13th and 14th. Travison at 6 points in 15th. And good old Sean ran out the bottom here, 5 points in last place. We only have one real trade to talk about, so we might as well talk about it. Um, Evan Bouchard in a ninth, going to the yard sale. In exchange, the Big Bad Wolf receiving Chris Kreider and a 14th. What do you think of this?
Not much. Evan Bouchard, isn't he like waiver wire trash? Or is he having a good season?
He's not having a good season, which
I
is
don't know.
Corey's trying to move him pretty much. He's having an okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, so yeah, Kreider. Corey got Kreider in this.
Corey got Kreider, yeah, who's
Yeah.
very underperforming with 11 goals and one assist this year.
Yeah, yeah. Like a couple of years ago, I mean, I would have been like, "What the fuck? This is a steal." But now it's like, we'll see if he like. We'll see what happens with him. But yeah, it could be a steal if he starts performing. But if not, might have wasted the pick. But Corey's in a strong position to take those chances.
That's what I said to Corey. Like, you overpaid for Kreider. We were joking around, but I told him like exactly what he was thinking. He told me that he wanted to buy low, so that's exactly the price that you should do. Is you buy him low in hopes that he turns it around, and he would turn into a steal. A ninth for Kreider is not a whole lot with a 14th coming back with the potential there. He's at least getting you some grind in the meantime, but 11 goals, one assist this far into the season is far below his normal.
Yeah,
But the Rangers are a mess. I don't know what it is. I think they have to get rid of their. I think their GM has caused so much turmoil in there with how he's handled their contracts. I don't know if a new coach would help, but definitely like they don't respect the GM. I don't know if the coach still has the room. But I will like to say I've seen a lot of talk about this online. Chris Kreider with his 12 points is on Team USA. And then you have Cole Caulfield, who's not, who was snubbed, and other players who were snubbed. When you have a guy who's barely producing on the team.
yeah, and that kind of reminds me. Well, you see this, there. I remember when they snubbed Sidney Crosby for Team Canada, and they got absolutely fucking pummeled in the Olympics in Italy that one year. Um, and you see this often where they keep the veterans for these international events, and they snub the young guys. A bit of an old boys club. You see in the World Juniors, we just lost to Latvia 3-2, and two players who were ranked top 10 for the draft were snubbed from the Team Canada team. And funny enough, they liked the social media posts of Latvia beating Team Canada. Kind of like, fuck you guys.
Well, I would like to keep discussing that, but we just got a notification. We have 9 minutes, and I don't think we should do a second part because we're so close.
All right, let's do it. Let's get through it.
Let's run through our predictions for this week. Let's start off as we always do, just because it happens to be it always shows your match first um, when you're hosting this. So we're gonna look at Le Champion, Team Ramrod taking on Shane Hasn't Lubed Me. Well, it's about to happen, Mark. It's about to lube. Actually, no, I'm going in raw.
No,
There is not going to be any lube. It's just going to be raw, buddy. Raw and hard, just like you like it. But I'm going to take the point on this one and say that Team Ramrod is going to demolish Mark this week. A full week of my team isn't the same as 4 fucking days of Team Ramrod. And last time Mark even beat me was in the finals. But this is why we changed the rule because I had this. My guys were sitting out as healthy scratches because it was the last week and a half of the season. That's why the season is going to the end now. We we fixed that because no team wants to lose with fucking bench guys on your stars on the bench. So Mark, your team just doesn't compete with mine. Team Ramrod is better than you, and you know it. Kyle, who you got?
Well, Mark said himself he wants you to go in raw with no lube. So, this is going to be a rough week for Mark. You got the better goaltending. Stolars is still out, as far as I know.
Yeah,
And yeah, I think you're going to take it to him.
I'm gonna take it to him. I like that. He knows it. He wasn't worried that Shane hasn't lubed. He was excited. He's like, he hasn't lubed me yet. It's coming. But no, Mark, there's not going to be any lube. Don't try the beef. A guy who's trying to hold on to a playoff spot gets a nice a New Year gift taking on TVT. Who do you got here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Daltrey here. Daltrey is 6-2-1 in his last nine. He just had a rough start to the year, and then he ran into me last week. Unfortunate for him, but he's still a good team, and I expect him to win here.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. That's who I picked. Was Daltrey. Um, I just don't think Travis has a good team. He knows it. He's at the bottom of the league for a reason. His team's trash. Derek, everyone loves Raymond taking on Fetch Me a Drink. Big matchup for Dan, who's trying to get into that playoff hunt. Derek trying to continue his winning ways. Who do you got?
This is my match of the week right here. Just because the two dynamics, we have two rising teams here. Derek, who's coming into the top of the league, and Dan, who had a rough start and is trying to claw his way back into the playoffs. I'm gonna give my love to Derek here, but I think it'll be a close week.
I also went with Derek. I just think his team is better. Um, it's more well-rounded. His goaltending is better and deeper, especially right now with the Rangers just sucking so much. So I think Derek's going to take this. This matchup's my match of the week. Dre versus Corey. The big bad wolf coming to town, trying to blow Dre down. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Dre here. I just don't see him taking it 2 weeks in a row, but Corey's been strong, and he might prove to be the better associate. We'll see. But I'm gonna go with Dre this week.
I went with Dre as well. That's not really any disrespect to Corey's team. I think he could easily win this. Maybe not easily, but he could. I could see him coming out victorious this week. These are two big teams in the league, and anytime you have two of the top teams in the league playing, it could go either way. I'm giving the edge to Dre. Um, yeah, I like his keeper base better, and I think his goaltending, aside from Saros, is better in general. But it could go either way, in my opinion. So, mentally bedarded taking on Neil. Who do you got here?
I think Neil is a better team, but I'm gonna go with Kyle this week.
Oh, you're going with the momentum.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the momentum. Toronto's been playing well, and that might benefit Kyle.
Don't forget Demko's back too, which is beneficial to Plums. I went the
Absolutely.
opposite though. I went with Neil. I think this is Neil's chance to bounce back against what many perceive to be a weaker opponent. And I think his team's going to kind of step up this weekend, get him uh, moving up in the standings a little bit, or at least keeping pace in the standings. Bitchin' bitches taking on the yard sale. Is this the new bye week? Is this the Sean bye week now? Kyle, who you
No,
got?
I gotta go with the bitch and bitches. That's about it. I think Sean has a veiny golden cock in his future, and I think Casey's going to help him.
I like that mindset. I would love nothing more to have Sean take that trophy home. Yeah, I want to see it continue. So I went with Casey as well. I just think the state of their teams right now, their teams going in different directions, and Casey is the better team. Patches taking on Domo. Who do you got?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Patches on this one. Um, but it's going to be close. I think it's going to be like a 1 point game here because I think Domo has the better goaltending. Patches has some goaltending problems right now. Um, but Domo has good grind and good goaltending. I think this is like a 8-7, 7-6 kind of thing, but I'll go with Patches.
I also went with Patches. I just think his team is better. than Doma. You can tell that by the standings. And his team's been more consistent. And the last one, we got just over 2 minutes. This is good timing. Team Rocket taking on the Braden bye week. Who do you have here?
I got myself. I am known as the Giant Killer. I lose to the trash and beat the top of the league. And so this is the way I see it. Brandon's top of the league. I'm probably going to beat him because that's what I usually do. But if I do lose to him, it's because Braden's still trash.
That's how you know. If you lose the call, you are trash. I went with Braden. It's hard to go against a guy who's been on such a roll like that. And I wouldn't mind seeing you drop down close to that Caucasaurus, watch you sweat a little bit here. So I went with Braden. I think it's the logical choice. Well,
Yeah,
buddy, just over a minute and a half left. We were in good time. I do appreciate you joining me this week.
I'm back, bitches.
Apparently, he is back. Um, any parting words?
Um, Fuck you, Braden.
I like those words. Um, Good luck, everyone, this week. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Uh, well, I mean, good luck to everyone except for you, Mark. Go fuck yourself.